Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies, and welcome back to the next installment of hosting replays. I gotta think of a better title, but maybe I'm just out of creativity right now. Tank Baby's given me some suggestions, but I don't speak tank or baby. Don't tell Tank Cop. Okay, so he actually sent me two replays, and they're both ace gameplay in the XP-55, and you're looking at the Disney Tunes version of this airplane because I love this custom camo and I didn't feel like taking it off. So with that, I'm going to try and mix things up a little bit, and it'll switch between Norway and the next mission where Tyfighters managed to do so well. And with that, let's cut straight to the action. And incredibly, he actually has an enemy fighter above him, which is a rare sight in the XP-55, so he dives to pick up some speed. He's going to have to pull some defensive maneuvering, and he's also putting pressure on the enemy. I've noticed that Tyfighters has an aggressive gameplay style, which often works out for him, because he's a pretty talented player. Pass with that BF-109 and then loops around, and you can look at the great energy retention of the XP-55 as he pulls these maneuvers. It doesn't have the most aggressive maneuvering, but because of its smooth turns and its good ability to output power, power to weight ratio you might say, and when the guns connect, very nice. It can perform well as an energy fighter, as you can see. And switching scenes. Now that he's above the enemy team, Tyfighters is selecting his first target, a Hitler Bolt P-47, and first shots fail to connect. The Hitler Bolt can maneuver a bit at high speed, but as soon as you start losing that energy, it's very difficult to defend yourself. So a common tactic is to dip your nose down and zoom away. But Tyfighters has plenty of energy, and he decides to pursue this. This Thunderbolt is making the mistake of doing a looping descent, where really you just want to kind of drop as fast as you can. Tyfighters maintaining his energy here by coming up, and he shows a clear advantage in this fight. Back to Norway, same deal, target acquired, dropping down on the enemy, C20 something. That's the best I can see with the software I'm using. And this is a little bit different situation. There are a lot of enemies at altitude with Tyfighters here, so he's pulling these rolling scissors and then looping around. Can't quite manage to connect the guns, just a bit over maneuvering there. And he has to pull a long circle around here to reline up the guns. Another ally is engaging at the same time, giving him the opening that he needs. Can he pull the aircraft around in time to take advantage of this? Gets the lead, fires his shot, picks up his second kill. Very nicely done, but he is still in the thick of it. Chasing a P-47 down to the deck. Can he get these shots to connect? Not quite. It's going to be another adjustment here as he resets his approach. And he's torn between turning with this thing and pulling a looping maneuver to maintain his energy. He ends up compromising between the two, checking his tail. Amazingly, no one's above him right now, and this P-47 is running. But he's already burned much of his energy in the turning maneuvers that he pulled, which was a huge mistake against an XP-55, and he's going to get chased down, run down, and gunned down. At this point in a P-47, there's very little you can do. As soon as you realize that you can't zoom away from someone, your only option is to perform a rolling scissors and try and get them to overshoot. Now, he goes for a loop, which was just a bad call, and does not end well for him at all. Tyfighters has picked up his first kill in this match, but now he's on the deck. That is not where an XP-55 wants to be. Back to Norway, we see an ally burning and Tyfighters engaging in this melee at altitude. This is where an XP-55 thrives, but it's also where you see the terror of the German team, with the most powerful German aircraft being the P-47. At altitude, these aircraft are monstrosities, and he manages to tear the wing off of the beast. What a great shot. And at this point, that's turning the tide in favor of his team, evening the odds, as it were. This is the kind of battle that gets your heart really racing, where it's a bare knuckles brawl at high altitude with the enemy team. And here you see the XP-55 shining. He pops his flaps just a bit to get that turn to come in nicely. A good use of the flaps on the XP-55. That is something you want to pick up a feel for, because this airplane does not have the tightest turning circle under normal circumstances. However, against a P-47 he can do just fine, and once again we see a P-47 making the mistake of turning. So flat turning is not what you want to do in the D. If anything, zooming maneuvers, the P-47 is a typical boom and zoomer, and here you see he made the mistake of turning, and now he's burning. Now, back to the ground. Tyfighters has spotted an enemy, and he's maneuvering, we'll put it that way. He burned a little bit of energy there in that turn, but he has some to spare. It looks like these enemy fighters are surprisingly low on energy, and he does have some allies in the area. I turned off name tags here just to clean things up a bit cinematically. I still haven't decided how I want to do these things, and Tyfighters is deciding how to engage the enemy here. This is what's going to make or break the next stage of the engagement. He's got to maintain his energy because he does not have altitude. Here he goes for a deflection shot on that enemy fighter, but he just can't quite manage to make convergence. Long range shots black his engine, and he is going down. Nicely done. Back to Norway, Tyfighters takes his shot. Can he make connection? The 20 mils of this vehicle and the 50 cals in the nose can do quite a bit of damage, as you can see. Another shot on an enemy down on the deck. He takes him down. Now Tyfighters is racking up the kills. Very nicely done. Next up, a head-on pass. Survives. Back to this one. A head-on pass. Very aggressive, and he manages to take down his opponent. Nicely done. Here we see Tyfighters lining up his shot back on Norway, and the enemy J's out, landing on the airstrip, taking off again shortly. F to pay respects for that ally who was too much of a speedy boy to land properly. Can Tyfighters pick up his next kill? Oof, beautiful. When the guns connect, it really does the business. That's 5 there. Now, for his 5th kill on the other map. This is not Norway. Can he... it's almost anticlimactic, but what a shot. 5 kills and 5 kills. 2 great games in the XP-55. A high altitude dogfight melee with the majority of both teams involved. What a thrilling encounter. And also in the low altitude, high speed, high stakes gamble that he performed on the other map. Very thrilling. He made a few slight misuses of energy in this one, but he really knew when to take advantage of his situation. Not afraid to go into head-ons when the enemy has energy on him, and that of course would be a mistake on the enemy's part. Guys, thanks for watching. This was a great couple of replays, and be sure to send in your replay files and I'll see what I can do with them. Catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye.